For more about all of this, we are joined tonight by Andres Martinez. He is a senior fellow at the New America Foundation in Washington, D.C. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We've heard a lot tonight about how official corruption's impeding the drug war in Mexico. And I'm wondering, is that why the Mexican government deployed tens of thousands of federal troops to fight the drug cartels? And then, is it working?
It's one of the reasons why there was a perceived need to deploy the military, yes. The fact that a lot of local police forces had been compromised and infiltrated, which is a recurring problem in Mexico. I wouldn't say it's only corruption, though. I think it's actually just a matter that there was no other force to throw at the problem. Mexico lacks a strong, muscular federal police force. So partly it was just that the government was being outgunned.
And is it working?
There's a stalemate in place. It worked initially. There was a sort of shock and awe element to having the army patrol the streets, but over time the cartels have adjusted to the new reality. And if you take, say, Ciudad Juarez in northern Mexico last month, it was the deadliest month since the Mexican Revolution in that city. So it's not seen as a viable long-term strategy, no.
The United States, I understand, has promised Mexico more than $1 billion to help win their drug war, but very little money has actually gotten there. And I'm wondering, what is the holdup and how might that be hurting Mexico's efforts?
It's very frustrating for Mexico because there have been all kinds of holdups in terms of procurement, in terms of appropriations process in the Congress. Helicopters that were promised have not been delivered. Some of the aid is conditioned on human rights and certification by the Congress that the Army is not abusing human rights in Mexico. There have been any number of excuses to not deliver aid, which is insufficient to begin with.
The president was in Guadalajara this weekend, President Obama, and he reiterated America's commitment to helping fight this drug war. What kind of action would Mexico like to see from the United States?
Well, one of the important things is we shouldn't think of it in terms of helping Mexico with its drug fight. I think the positive step that Obama took and that Hillary Clinton took earlier was in acknowledging that this is a shared responsibility. This is essentially a war that we're fueling with our consumption of drugs and the money coming from the United States and guns, not to mention guns. So the Americans need to step up and close the gap between that acknowledgement and what actually is in place in terms of the effort. Mexico needs a lot of military hardware, a lot more training of its forces, and Mexico needs to be more accepting of a more visible presence for the U.S. in this effort too, because there are sovereignty concerns that are rooted in history that also make it a little bit hard for Mexico to receive some of the aid that is necessary. So it's kind of a two-way street in terms of the adapting that needs to take place to confront the severity of the problem.
Andres Martinez from the New America Foundation, thank you very much.
Thank you.